Greetings, teachers. My name is Aaron. I am normally a French instructor in a classroom. I'm also a Google Apps for Education certified instructor. Today, I'd like to tell you how to use Google Classroom. For those who have not taken the time to set up Google Classroom for their own classrooms because they are not really sure how to set it up or how to really incorporate it with their classrooms, this video is for you. I'm going to explain why you should use Google Classroom and what it can do for your classroom. The Google Classroom is not really a replacement for your physical class space and class time. It's more of an extension, a place where you can share digital resources with your students and really bring them to an online community. Google Classroom is a learning management system. That is to say, it is a place for you to hand stuff out digitally, collect things digitally, and communicate with your students in one setting for education online. You can add and delete students to your classroom to essentially create your online classroom roster. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that Google Classroom does not interface with whatever system that your school uses for attendance and grading, so you will have to add and delete students yourself, although it's not really very much of a difficult process. You can post announcements and reminders whenever you get your classroom all set up. Which is like an online message board. If you ever wanted to remind students about upcoming assignments or just make an announcement to them about cool stuff in your content area, you can post announcements and reminders on the Google Classroom very easily. You can share online resources with students like websites and videos and pictures. Instead of writing down the link to it on the board and having them type it into their computers or tablets, you could just share it on Google Classroom and all I have to do is click on it and they can go. Connecting with parents is very easy with the classroom because you can add parent emails to each student email on your roster, and parents will get regular parent email updates. You can post simple assignments like Google Forms or Google Doc assignments that you create and post to them. You could even post more complicated assignments like digital handouts in Google Doc form, assignments in Google Forms that can be graded and returned if you create those, and even stuff they can comment on like Google Docs and other Google Slides. So let's see how you would set up your Google Classroom for your class. This is my example teacher. His name is Paul. Paul went to Google Classroom by typing in classroom.google.com. Here on the top left, we have a menu that has all of the classes and a Google Calendar if you would like to incorporate that, and any additional settings if you'd like to change those. There are no classes here because I've not set one up yet. Go to the top right where you see this plus sign, click on it. You can join a class or you can create a class. Right now we're going to go ahead and create one. So click on Create Class, click I've read the above notice, and continue. The only field that you really need to fill out here is the class name. I'm going to go ahead and fill in French 2, and because this is something that I'd like to see every time I click on it, I'm going to say period 4. The section, subject, and room are not things that you need to fill in, but I'll fill them in right now. Maybe this is section 2, maybe this is the French subject, and this is going to be room 120. Go ahead and click Create. Don't be afraid if this process takes about a minute or so for the Google Classroom to set up your class. It is setting up a picture and a class stream and everything that you will need to go ahead and get your class started. Here is your class's interface. You might want to change this default picture that comes up here. You can do that by clicking Select Theme or Upload Photo. This is your class code. One way to incorporate students into your class by essentially enrolling them is by having them go to classroom.google.com. They click on that plus sign, they click Join Class, and they would have to put in this class code. Fortunately, this little display button lets you project it nice and big so that students can see it from far away. That's not the only way to sign up or enroll for a Google Classroom. I'm going to show you other ways as well. This is your class stream where all the things that you post will be visible to your students in real time. If I wanted to, for example, have my students go to this French language blog, then I would copy this URL and I would go to my class stream and I would say, click on this link. Paste. I could choose which classes to send this to, which students to send this to, and then click post. I could post things from my Google Drive. I could attach something from my own computer. I can send a YouTube video or just a regular link. Once I hit post, then it posts to all the students. I could even comment on this if I wanted to. Be sure to click on the link. Hit post. If you've posted many things, you can always make sure that what you've posted ends up at the top. If you've posted it later in the day, but you really want the classes to see it first, by clicking on this menu and click Move to the top. It's not possible right now because this is the only thing on the stream. So the class stream is more or less all of the items that you have posted for the students to see. In the middle here, we have classwork. On the classwork tab, you can actually create assignments for students to do. Click Create, and you can make assignments, you can make quizzes, you can just have a question for the class, so forth and so on. Feel free to explore all of those options on your own. The last tab that we have here at the top is People. Here are all the teachers in our Google class. Me. Well, this is my example teacher here. You can add other teachers too if they happen to be co-teachers or teachers that you really want involved in the class as well. Students. Here's how to enroll students in your class. Click on the Add a Student here, and we'll need to type in the student's name or their email. If all of your students have the same email ending, like at kansas.edu or something like that, then if you type in their name, it should pop up automatically. My example student is John Doe, and this is John Doe's email address. Once I finish typing it in, I'll just go ahead and click on it and click Invite. Now, Jean Doe has been invited to my Google Classroom, but Jean Doe needs to accept my invitation. So I'm going to go to what my student Jean Doe would see. Jean Doe has typed in classroom.google.com on his own device. Normally, when you add students to a Google Classroom, they go to this website and the class is already there and they just need to click Join. If that doesn't happen, ask the student to go to their email. Maybe your students are using Gmail. Maybe your students are using a particular organization email like Outlook. Oh, look, here's an email from my example student's example teacher. I'm going to go ahead and click Join to join that classroom. It'll open up classroom.google.com, and I'm going to make sure that I'm signed in as my student Jean Doe. I'm going to go ahead and hit Join. And now I am enrolled as a student in my example teacher's French 2 Period 4 class. Look, here is the item that my example teacher, Paul Professeur, has created. And I can go ahead and click on this link, and it will take me to the place that my teacher has created. Back on the teacher end, here Jean Doe has accepted my invitation in the class. Usually with your organization, you click on those three dots and you can add a parent email to this. Go back up to your stream and go ahead and enjoy sharing things with your class. I hope this has been a good introduction on how to get your Google Classroom set up and give you some interesting ideas on how you can push some digital content out to your students and create a digital learning atmosphere for all of your classes. Please leave me any questions or comments below the video and subscribe. Thanks so much.